Darn.
And by the way, guys, this is Corey McCourt.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm the project manager for the Scenic, so I oversee the design for the dinosaurs is being implemented correctly, that the animatronics that we're producing the best possible scenic that we can. That covers not only the dinosaurs themselves, but the set, the rear projection screen, the trees that will be in front of you. You saw kind of the white model, which is a very preliminary level. As we develop it, it's that design. But then again, you have to kind of envision the scope, and that's one thing that I'll stress is that these trees that are on the front are 40 feet high.
Oh wow!
Within the Jurassic period, and these trees travel during the scenes. The integration that I've seen with the projection, it's crazy. Right? It's really cool because you have this scene with the tree, but then it's integrated into the whole valley behind it. Or you may have a cliff that comes in as one of our scenic pieces. It's a huge cliff. It's about 30 feet across, 18 feet high. Wow. That again is tied into the back wall. So it's not this thing that we place in front and it's like, oh, there's a cliff there. No, it's a cliff, but then there's a mountain behind it. So it's pretty amazing. It really is. It's exciting. I've enjoyed every bit of this project. Again, it's like being a big kid. You know, you get to finally build dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like realistically, we went through, and I think I heard you touch on it. Is we took the exact models from Jurassic Park. So we want to stay true to the film, true to the canon, and then go through and figure out how do we make these dinosaurs exist within a space, within a touring space, right? Because it's not a one-off, it's not a stage, it's not an install. These have to move.
Yeah.
So how do we get the most lifelike dinosaurs onto the floor of each of these arenas in each of these separate towns? And by the time we open it, it'll be about 2 years of work. It's a lot of work that went into this. This hasn't been rushed. So we went through and found some of the best houses, including our own in film, to produce these. Some of the really cool things is the scaling pattern that again lines up exactly to the movies. The size and scope and speed lines up to the movies. From here I go to check in on the T-Rex. I'm super excited about it.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy. Like just seeing like the scope of this thing come to life as it progresses. It's all brand new. It's built off the Jurassic model. So it's going to be full size at 42 feet long. It's going to be full height, going about 18. The speed gets up to about 16, just a little less than a full 17 what they thought they could reach. But I mean, it's a full-size T-Rex on the aerial floor.
Nice.
I don't know if I'm conveying how exciting it is. It's just, yeah. But T-Rex, we get back to the T-Rex. So this is a half scale. This isn't even a full scale. We had kind of closer to a full scale for just the foot. So this is a half scale foam model for the T-Rex. So again, kind of taking in, you guys know I would never think otherwise, just the bottom of the foot is touching. So this is literally just the bottom of T-Rex's foot, but at half scale, so double the size of that, and then you can kind of build in your mind the fact of how big she's going to be. You know?
Oh yeah.
When they went through, the amount of detail that they went to get to the specifics, so I believe as Chris said, they went through with the CGI and we got the basic model of the T-Rex, what she looked like, her scale patterns, and then we have to dive into, all right, well, let's get down to how we're going to make her move. So we have the animatronics within, we have the drive system, we have the walk cycle, but then we have to build back outwards to make her look exactly as she was supposed to do. So we have some really talented people. I don't know if you'll be as excited as I am, but really they laid out exactly, so this is just an arm. So they laid out exactly, and then they have to figure out all of these pieces for the foaming of the arm. So this was not done by a computer. There's a very talented individual that goes through and lays out just this arm into all these pieces. I mean, feel free to take a look and grab onto it. So
that's awesome.
It's all the cross sections, and then that has to line up exactly.
That's cool.
And then again, take that across the entire size of a T-Rex.
Yeah, go ahead.
And that's everything that's underneath covering the structure. Then on top of that, we go through from an anatomic sort of perspective, and we lay on the muscle bags, as we call them, the musculature underneath the skin.
Yeah.
And then you put on all the scaling patterns down to the battle wounds, the very specific battle wounds, location, size, color. So yeah, timing.
Because this is, when you see her, it's after the park fall, but before Fallen Kingdom, so we had to make sure we had the right star patterns at that
Yeah.
moment in time.
Really healing, like how much
Exactly.
heals the
Yeah,
film.
exactly.
Exactly.
So it's that level of detail is what's really excited me. I mean, it's you're seeing dinosaurs come to life, but then going through and figuring out, all right, how does this fit within the storyline? Everybody loves the storyline. We want to introduce something that's new and exciting within that storyline, but staying true to what's supposed to be happening in between the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you can kind of see and probably gather from this, the T-Rex is still being built.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the imaging you're seeing right now is kind of a temporary one, because ours we have to. It's a previous one that NBC has done, but ours, because of where we're at the film, one didn't exist. So we're right now creating it, and it
Yeah.
will be very true to the film. Very
That's
true
amazing.
to the line.
Yeah.
And very
That's gonna make a lot of
accurate.
people happy.
Yeah.
So it makes us happy. So I'm sure it's going to make everybody else happy.
I saw that image and then I saw this video. I'm like, wait, what's it gonna be? Is it gonna?
So as you watch the film, or watch the little promo video here, she's pieces and molds and framing, and
Yeah.
she's not there. Still waiting.
That's fun. That's good.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we wanted to build it from the ground up. We wanted to have this be specific to the show and be this amazing centerpiece of the show. I mean, she's the T-Rex.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get more iconic for Jurassic Park than the T-Rex. So
That's exciting.
the journey that has been amazing to be a part of. Seeing it come together. I actually leave here tomorrow to go back and see her again. So it's pretty much every other week I go to see her and
Yeah.
check in, and every time I'm like, all right, well, I've seen her. You know, I shouldn't be as excited, but yet every time I see her, it's like, oh, God, so
Yeah.
it's really pretty amazing. Over here, if we're talking T-Rexes, this is just the called the eye buck, the eye mold that's 3D printed. Now this is just a basic print to show the exact size and the pattern, and we got down to the level of the iris pattern. So it's got to match. She's got to be exactly right? She's an established character. We need her to match up. This is a draft of the skin that will go around her eye. And these are the molds that help make it. So it's just, again, a level of detail. This is a look at kind of a few of the teeth that are within her jaw. One of the things that we wanted to be sure of was that, if she were to brush into something, that this will move, because again, 42-foot dinosaur, she's big.
Yeah.
So 3D printed teeth, we go through, and when we're reviewing with NBCU, we go through down to, all right, that color white, but just down to change that slightly, because it's just, maybe it's not as dark, but it's not as light. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
As you've seen, there's kind of a mix between the two. So all the smaller dinosaurs are puppeteer dinosaurs, or Dinoteer,
Okay.
we like to call it. So you'll get to see kind of a look at that, and they really convey the emotion. Like I'm surprised, and I laugh every time we're hanging out with like Blue or Jeannie, and they're getting ready where they're going to do a scene, and it's just like it's like you're there. It's really cool. For the larger ones, we have a couple different ways of doing it. For the T-Rex, it will be controlled by 2 separate controllers within the venue. One will drive the T-Rex, move it through the space. The other one will animate a remote. So she will have, of course, her choreography, but then she also has the ability to interact with the audience if we notice that maybe she's driving by and there's a small child that's super excited to see her. There it is. She can kind of look over, give a snort, give a little grumble. So that part's pretty amazing. Then within the mama stag, this is just the top half of a mold of her head. The mama stag and the triceratops will be driven on board. So we'll have a driver actually within the lower chassis, and they'll drive through. Same level of motion, same level of thought. So it's, we have to capture the fact that the Stegosaurus is not aggressive like the T-Rex. It's not going to be the same thing. You can't just cut and paste. You have to develop this character. So what Dan and Ross have been doing as directors is really figuring out the scene. How is this dinosaur going to react? How is it going to react in space? How is it going to interact with our human counterparts? Triceratops, right? Well, it's kind of in between the two, right? It's not aggressive, but it's not shy either. Right? So that part's really pretty amazing. You know?
Is that full scale?
This is full scale.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is. I was surprised as well because when you see the body, she's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
But when you see the head, it's like, you know. We went through obviously and triple checked, and this is full scale. So it's the top part of the head. Unfortunately, we couldn't bring the mold for the Triceratops. As you can imagine, it's
The giant, yeah.
But it's huge. That was just actually coming out of mold the last time that we visited, and just watching them go through and you know picking apart the fact that this scale here. All right, well, I've got to grind that to a precise point because there's something that's going on with that scale around the eye. The different size comparisons here. So this is the size comparisons that we're working off of. Obviously, we've got humans interspersed to kind of give you a sense of the scale. One of the dinosaurs that I didn't mention is the I-Rex. The I-Rex is the newer one's one that's also very exciting. So we're working on the development of how I-Rex will move and interact in the scene, and it's also really cool. It's just you see him come through and the motion, the full pitch yaw that head side to side, up and down. It's not limited to like a 4-axis movement going through, and we have to get the idea that that the neck will move almost in a serpentine sort of way. That it's got to line up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, in terms of movement, that thing is, it's probably way far and above all the other ones. Maybe most comparable to like the Raptor, maybe because of all the movement in there. Yeah.
Very quick, very fluid.
Yeah. It's going to be impressive.
Yeah.
So the Indominus in the films is sort of unique because sometimes it gets, rather than bipedal, theropod will become quadrupedal at times. That's something that has been integrated into. It's not something that's very common in the film, but she does sometimes go on all fours or in a tripod pose.
Sure. We see mostly.
So in the story action, it's when the whole island is falling apart. She's breaking through the wall of Kate's lab, and she actually doesn't come all the way through the wall. So you're seeing she gets pinned by the structure of the lab itself, and kind of starts to snap and attack what she can, whatever happens to be in reach.
Nice.
So it's a really cool action sequence.
Nice.
We also get a lovely dino on dino battle. I mean, that's we've got a lot of that. But there's a key moment which I know from it to you guys for a little bit of how Blue attacks our Triceratops, and it was how we could make that come to life. So we actually see that impact, and we also draw blood as well at that moment on the Triceratops, and that was fun for you guys to work out for a moment.
You've got an existing Triceratops. How do we show battle damage as it is? How do we show that this was attacked? How do we show that this occurred? Because you need to give that gravity to the scene. You need to give that emotion to.
And live, right there.
Live
right.
in the center of the arena floor.
Yeah, no hidden. No hidden tricks.
Yeah, she doesn't leave and come back. She's out there.
So we've been working with their brand team and art department to stay, as you know, as the films progress, there's slightly different modifications and variations of the dinosaurs themselves. So we're trying to stay current to what they're saying everything looks like.
During the Jurassic World era, which makes sense.
Yeah.
If they look like that during that time period, it definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
How many times does it take to get one of these right, or are you guys still in the process of it?
Well, it takes a few.
Yeah.
There's a large room with a lot of different molds. So we start. It depends on the process. Sometimes we'll start very small. Like this will be very early T-Rex starter hand.
Okay.
And then as it progresses in size, it's all the way to full scale, which we can send. But these molds, I would say, I don't know the specific of how many times, but they've gone through iteration after iteration. So it's a check-in process. So we generate this, and we get together as a group and we review. Is this what we're intending to do? Is this true to what it should be? And then we get into the paint. So this is a grayscale, and you've got the scales attached. This is a kind of a sample skin. You'll see this here on the side, and then you go through and you have to get exactly that tone. Is it a multi-tone? Is it graduated? Are there specifics? Is there specifics to that corner of that toe? It's a long process,
And when we're even pulling the molds, they may have to pull multiple just to get the right one. Because if for some reason the scales in this area didn't come out correctly, and then it goes, we do it again.
Is there like a big dinosaur graveyard, like parts of just...
I'm not going to answer that. I want you to look for it.
Where is it?
Real quick question, actually, that kind of led me to a question. Do you find that you need to change the size or exaggerate any of the details so it reads better for the audience? Like, maybe make some of the scales be deeper rather than shallow? Okay.
Yeah, so that is going to be specifically one of the things that we were looking at on the T-Rex is T-Rex has a lot of scales that are this size. Mm-hmm. So if I were to walk 20, 30 feet away, this is going to actually go into A color. So in certain areas, we upscaled ever so slightly just to make it readable not only for the front row, but for the last row. Because what we didn't want to do is make any of the audience not be able to see the detail and the trueness of what we were hearing.
Mm-hmm. What about the safety, I guess, of the actors and the people on stage? Because these things are massive, so you've got to, I'm sure, have safety precautions in line, right?
Safety is honestly first and foremost in everything we do.
Mm-hmm.
We're putting on family entertainment, right?
Yeah.
The first thing that we go through from an operational standpoint is, again, when we ask these questions, the same exact question.
Yeah.
We're going to be driving dinosaurs in around.
Yeah.
So it's choreography. There's obviously a way to stop the dinosaurs as needed. Make sure that if something which we don't anticipate we can control the situation. Beyond that, it's a combination of cameras. It's a combination of training.
Mm-hmm.
So it's incredibly redundant. The best way to explain it is to make sure that we've accounted for the fact that there can't be error.
Uh-huh.
You've got giant T-Rex roaming the land, so it's something that we've investigated thoroughly and made sure that we're aware of how she's going to move, and we've anticipated, all right, what if this were to happen? How do we make sure that this doesn't happen?
Yeah.
How do we make sure that everybody on the floor is safe?
Yeah, I'm sure you've done more research than John Hammond, at least, because that didn't really work out too well.
No, I mean we're a family touring company. We tour ton of shows. I myself toured for 17 years with shows, so we're definitely fully vetted in the idea that we need to make sure that this is incredibly exciting, but also that it's safe. But we should anticipate or see that safety taking place, or we're not ginger with the dinosaurs. We're not very careful and like, all right, it's miles away. But it's choreography, it's research, and it's being ahead of the game.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
How do you travel with a 43-foot?
That is a great question. She will travel in 2 shipping containers. So she's got a show mode or a stance, and then she's got a shipping mode. We've gone through and even engineered to the point of how will this move in transportation, just that gentle rocking on the road as it travels. We need to make sure that she's engineered to take that, because it will stress a joint over however many miles that she travels over the first few cities even. So we dismantled to a bit, but you'll never see it.
It's not in an open cage going down the highway.
We would love to do that. There may be some people.
There was a part of me that said I'd really like to drive her from, unfortunately she's got to run in a container.
Yeah.